raise your hand, put it in chat. Sherry will let me know. So if you're shy and don't want to raise your hand, it's okay. I have a tendency to see bubbles over people's heads that say, ooh, ooh, call on me. So I may just call on you, and it could just be, burst the bubble if you need to, but I will call on people. Again, it's just the best information I think comes from everybody coming together. So let's jump in. Everybody's good to jump in? All
Yes.
right. So, membership, such an important topic. It has changed so many times over the years. There is a ton of resources. And what Rotary has found in the last 4 to 5 years, as they're developing their strategic plan, they're learning that a lot of the words we're used to seeing, retention, engagement, demographics, recruitment, great words. You guys have heard them, right? Raise your hand if you heard those words. Everybody's hand should go up. Right. All right. Here's the challenge with those words. They're great words, but they don't inspire action. And so the class today is going to focus on what we call the DELSI approach: discuss, explore, learn, create, execute, DELSI, and having resolve. So, how many of you have heard dream big, reach for the stars when you hear presentations? Pretty common, right?
Yeah.
When you hear that, run far, run fast, run for the hills. Dreaming allows us and gives us an excuse to fail. Because if we miss the mark, what do we say? It was just a dream. Let's come up with a new dream. But when we have resolve, we will move mountains to make something happen. So, David, you're smiling, and I don't know, you just can't keep that bubble under control. So, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself and tell this class something you have had resolve for. It could be with Rotary, outside of Rotary, the family, sporting event, something that you just said, I am going to do this. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I'm happy to share this. So, as president-elect, one of my visions is to really engage more young people and B, more women. Both of those are lacking in our club. We're a bunch of old men, and it's just we got to fix that. So that's my resolve, and I don't know the exact number is going to be, but I'm going to at least five new younger members and at least five new women in our club. That's my resolve.
Very, very nice. Eric, what about you? Do you have something that you have resolve for, or something even from the past? It could have been a sporting event that there were so many challenges, but it didn't matter. You just made it happen.
Well, I'm going to echo what my co-carpenter Ian David said is with our case in the morning club, it's much more younger people. We really need more young blood. I think that's probably true across many clubs, and I want to work to make that happen.
Great, great. And Walt,
Well,
welcome. Welcome, Walt. I see you there.
yes,
I
you
know
do.
Walt.
You
I know
do.
Walt. And
He,
Walt, I'm going to throw you under that proverbial bus. Ready for the boom, boom? Ready?
sure.
So, Walt, I know you have had resolve. Tell me something that you've had resolve for in your club that you made happen.
Well, it's not so, well, there's a couple things in my club, but I look way beyond my club. I'm actually looking at the Rotary Rose Parade float, as you know.
Mhm.
And my resolve is to change the image we present to the world about who we are. And to do that, you must do it in a very large way. So I look at basically a 45-second ad for Rotary promoting Rotary as people of action. And to do that, I basically put that float in the parade. And that's been my passion for a long time to do that. And I still do it to this day. So that's my passion for my Rotary Club. What I did here is mental wellness came to us. Remember last year, mental wellness, we had a month
Mhm.
dedicated to that. And they came to us and they said, can you help us raise some money? I said, well, yeah. And I got together with a winery up in San Ynez up by Solvang. And I happened to know the winemaker, and I knew his brother who was a winemaker up north. And we did a 10,000 step walk through that winery. The mental wellness expected to raise, they were hoping for about $89,000. We raised 210 for them because
Nice.
the winery matched what we wrote, what we raised, and it was basically it's what I learned through the Rotary Rose Parade float, how to promote things, and it's all about promotion. And my primary thing that I want to do for Rotary is turn publicity and marketing into membership. There's a correlation, and we need to explore that correlation. And it's a multi-phase process that we need to do. I'll let you run your meeting. I don't want to take your meeting over though.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly that we talk about public image being the cousin of membership, and I think they're brothers, sisters,
Yeah.
parents, aunts, uncles. It's the whole thing. And Karen, I see you looking at me like, oh, please don't call on me. I'm going to give you an extra 30 seconds because I'm going to bring the next thing up. And so you have 30 seconds to figure out what to say. Okay. So there's your fair play warning. All right. Next item. Be intentional. How many of you, and I will be the first to raise my hand, have had a conversation with someone and they ask you a question and you start answering them and you see their mind shift, like they're either planning their grocery list, what they're going to say next. They are definitely not listening to you, right? Have you guys experienced that?
Yes.
I have. All right, Karen, tell us a time when that happened to you. What was the situation and how did it make you feel?
Well, I think everybody just listens to me. No, not really. Um, well, let's see. I'm sure it's occurred with my brothers and sisters, growing up, just sharing something or telling my husband something, and then he's got a million other things on his mind. So it doesn't make me feel very good. It makes me feel unimportant.
Right. And we need to keep that in mind. When members come into our club or we're meeting somebody for the first time, I am notorious for going to grocery stores and standing in the longest line possible because I know everybody in front of me is now trapped. And I get to talk Rotary for at least 15 minutes. So they might feel like that with me. But yeah, we just have to remember when somebody's talking to us, we need to be intentional in our conversation. We need to be present in the conversation. And if we're talking membership, they should feel it when we talk to them. They should feel how amazing it is to be a Rotarian, how excited we are to be a Rotarian.
Let me ask you a question. You're standing in a grocery line. Are you intentionally identifying yourself as a Rotarian by wearing a pin or some identifying mark?
I will sometimes have my pin on. Sometimes I don't have my pin at all. And I'll just start a conversation. I'll say something like, I know people don't like lines. I'm a fan of long lines. Who here is a fan of the long line? And people will turn and look at me like, oh my gosh, she's bat crazy. And I'll say, you know why I like long lines? Because I get to talk about how I save lives. Me, a lowly person. I get to talk about how I get to jump through hoops. I talk about Rotary all day long. And what's Rotary? Oh my gosh, let me tell you, what do you do? And I get them talking. Oh, I'm a teacher. Oh, wow, you know what Rotary does with teachers? So I make it all about them. And it doesn't have to be the pin. The pin is important. Public image is absolutely important. But sometimes you just forget to put it on.
Do you give them a Rotary coin when you're done talking to them to thank them?
No, I do something better. I give them my phone number and I get theirs.
Okay.
Yeah, my kids laugh. Elevators, same thing.
Yeah.
They're like, how many floors we got to go up? I go, oh, we're right into the top and coming back down to 3. Because you will always make at least 2 or 3 friends.
Well, that's the intentional part. That's the intentional part.
Yeah, that's the intentional part. And my intention is not to get a member for my club. My intention is to get a net 1 for Rotary.
Yeah.
I don't care what club you're in.
Your club might not be the right match.
So let's keep going real quick. Great question, Walt. Entrenchment. This sounds like a military term, but it's really the direction Rotary is trying to move in. It's having that experience, good, bad, ugly, and different, not really matter in terms of our resolve and our intention to stay in Rotary. Rotary has to be so magnanimous that it doesn't matter. I'm 4th generation Rotarian. I've had great experiences in Rotary. I've had horrible experiences in Rotary, but my resolve, I will always be in Rotary. There is not another option for me. And that's what we're getting to, because we want to make sure that while we're bringing people into our club, we're not unintentionally moving others out the back door. So if you think in terms of entrenchment, last question, and Eric, I'm going to call on you because it looks like you're ready for me to go to that next slide, and you are the gatekeeper. You are standing between us and the next slide. What can you think about in your club that good, bad, ugly, and different? It's the one thing that will always bring people back.
I think it's the friendships and the fellowships that bring the most people back. Just
Okay.
the connections.
Okay. Karen?
Well, I've been in Rotary over 30 years, and I tell you, it's the friendships and the fellowship of that weekly meeting. I just love connecting with other people, learning about other people, listening to a dynamic program. It's a family. Rotary is a
Very nice.
family.
All right, so keep this in mind. This is the framework we're going to work within today. Everybody's good on resolve, intention, presence, and entrenchment? Thumbs up if we're good. All right, let's keep going. All right, so the Delcy approach starts with discussion. And that's always the hard one. What are we going to discuss? How do we know when to discuss it? So here we go, 5 discussions, and you will get copies of the slides. You'll get copies of speaker notes. So don't feel like you have to, if you want to take pictures, but don't feel like you have to. You are going to get everything down to the minutia. When it comes to this discussion, we tend to think about the here and now. And we really need to start thinking forward and think about how do we do this multi-year? Because clubs, districts pass the baton every year. Even RI passes the baton every year. The zone is the only level that passes the baton every 3 years. But all other levels of Rotary pass the baton every year. And I don't, Sherry, how many members? It's just us here, this small group?
For this class, do you mean?
Yes.
We have 23 right now.
23 right now. So how do you guys feel? Can we throw them into breakout rooms?
Probably 2. We don't need to split to too many since.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's split you up. And what we're going to do is we're going to have you talk about 3 things only. Okay. The first thing, what do you do to get to know your members, your club, and your community? So how do you get to know each other? The second question is, how do you evaluate your club? Do you evaluate your club? And then the last thing is, how clear is your mission? Those 3 things when you're in the room.
Yeah, it's not assigned, so you can just join either room 1 or room 2.
Okay, let's get them to their rooms then. All right, everybody's good? Let's go.
Shall I assign you guys? Maybe I'll just assign, then it's easier.
Yeah, breakout rooms open?
Yes.
Yes. So I've assigned most of you to room 1, and I'm starting to assign to room 2 now.
I don't know what's happening.
Oh, did you all get in room 2?
Not very good at this stuff. I think I messed it up.
Sorry, who are you?
David Gillette, Santa
Oh.
Paula.
Yeah, David,
I can't even hear you.
can you hear me?
Barely hear you.
Oh, let me finish assigning and then I'll get to you, David.
I'm really having a bad time here.
Has everybody been assigned to a room?
I guess I have.
Yes. Okay, I think we all have a room, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
okay. So you have the question from Mama Lu. Some of you, I don't know what room I'm in. I think I'm in
I'm in
room
two.
1 or room 2. Doesn't
You're in
matter.
room 2.
Room 2, okay. So I was assigning rooms, I didn't pay attention.
Well,
But
there I got the voice now.
okay, you guys
Okay.
can work among yourselves. I'm just
so,
the
so are we going to report back to the main room after we're done? So we need a scribe or something?
yes, yes.
Okay.
I
So-
can scribe. Is someone going to volunteer to scribe? I can scribe.
Yeah, go ahead and scribe. We need one person. We're in what, room 2?
You're in room 2.
Okay, room 2.
The first 3 questions was, how do you get to know your members? How do you get to know your club? And how do you get to know your community?
Well,
Who would like to go first?
Well, I'll start a little bit. Get to know our members by basically going to the meetings and doing projects together. That's how primarily doing projects together is how we get to know our members. We get to know our community by inviting community leaders in to be part of our club, our members. And so that's that part of it. Somebody else want to take other parts of that?
I've found that you don't get to really know what's going on in our club unless you're on the board, because
At the end, I say all new members, and I'll usually go back a couple of years, all new members, red and blue badges, please stand up. And then when they stand up, I say, okay, everybody, make sure you shake their hands when they leave out of the club. And that helps a little.
Okay.
One of the things I was going to say, one of the things that I do, I'm a past president of the Westlake Sunrise Rotary Club. I agree with what Pat's saying. We do a couple times a year, we try to do a new member mixer / educational event. We did it. We had about 6 or 8 new members from the last year. And then there were about a group of 14, 18. So it's part getting to know each other, the new members getting to know each other, plus education about Rotary. The other thing we're doing is mentorship training. And the ideas I got was from our president, Hayes Engelhardt. He was from a La Miranda Sunrise Rotary Club right near Walnut Creek in the Bay Area. And their membership, if I could do 25% of their processes for membership, I would be very happy. Everything has a process. And so we're going to do our first mentorship training coming up in the next, and that's another thing we do to. And then the last thing I'll say is when I'm interviewing or getting for a coffee for a potential new member, I write down, I want to know everything about them,
new member socials, and they've really liked that. We have had about 7 new members this year, and they really liked having a new member social at one of the members' houses, and it made them feel really welcome as a group because they were just all together, and they got to really talk and express how they felt. And some of the things were helpful because they didn't feel like they were really welcomed by some of the more longtime members. So we really had to address that. And they also really liked having the membership as a group. One of the things that I did was we have, in our club, we have fining and confessions.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I did was to get them to know the process of fining. I had all of the new members as a group come up with fining questions. And so I called them the class of, actually this was this year, I called them the class of 2025, and they got to come up with their fining questions. And so they got to all do it as a group, and it was just a lot of fun. And then the rest of the club got to know them a little bit because the questions were about themselves. The fining questions were about themselves. So this way they got to know each other, and the rest of the club got to know them. So that would answer at least part of that question.
Do you do craft talks?
Y'all have 3 more minutes.
Okay,
Brian
Sherry.
has a hand up.
Sue, that reminds me, we did the same. We invited all the new members to my house for a new member social. And a lot of the mentors, old members, showed up, and I decided to split them up so that the old members, we were out in the yard and talking Rotary, but we had all the new members in the other room talking amongst themselves and allowed them to develop relationships between themselves. So they became closer, they got to know each other and didn't feel like, there's the people that were already there and now me, this outsider. It worked out really well.
Wonderful, Monica. Brian has his hand up, and then Sue and,
Brian.
and Steve. Each of you have only 1 minute left.
Okay, Brian, go.
Just as an aside, at the lunches, I try to gravitate to tables where there's guests or new members and introduce myself, but then I ask them about themselves a little bit, like what did they do in their career or what is their career. If it gets a little deeper, I might even ask them, what's a concern they have in today's world that think needs attention. But people are so used to being ignored or talking into a device that they'll welcome a little bit of shared acquaintance that way. Thank you.
And
I
Sue,
love that question about what concerns they have. It's fabulous. Sue.
What we do, excuse me, with new members, they are required to be a greeter for one of their first meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So they get to meet everybody that comes in, and they also have the roster with photos of all the members, and we ask them to go around and get each member to initial their picture on the roster, so they get to meet everybody.
That's fabulous. That's a great idea.
if
How
you
are we
don't
doing
know-
for time, Sherry?
Yeah, we are most time's up, but let me do a plug for Rotary Club of Cambria. Last
Okay.
year, they are the overall best club in our district. And if you have never visited the Rotary Club of Cambria, Viva Cambria, you got to visit. They have a really well oil-run machine. The club president is a smooth ride for the club president because Sue does a fantastic job, plus the other members of their leadership. So there you go. We are out time. I got to bring you all back to the main room. So thank you all for participating.
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Mama Lu, it's yours again.
Okay, thank you. So Sherry, I'm going to need your help. Can we call on members of the rooms to report out to everybody what they came up with?
Yes, room 1. I forgot who's the scribe.
Eric was in charge of the room.
Okay. I was supposedly in charge of the room. I forgot. I went into room 2. I think somebody took notes, right?
I did. This is David. I was the scribe.
Yes. Would you like to share your discussion with the group?
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground. I'll go as quick as I can with it all. Pat, he's got 65 to 70 members. Mentorships are really important. Getting a group of people, get the new members, getting the older members together. Shaking hands, just getting them to meet each other. If you're a new member, stand up, please, and then the other members shake their hands and get to know them. Jim talked about mixers. 6 to 8 new members would come to that, and then maybe 14 to 18 older members, and they would get together and educate each other and talk about mentorships and such. Let's see, interview policies. Pat talked about publicity to the community. Chili cook-off, a street fair, the wine festival. Economic forecast is a big winner for him since 1996. He's been doing an economic forecast, which is a big winner for the community. Picnics also. Andrew, I thought, really hit the home run. We talked about how do we engage the community and learn about the community? And Andrew talked about it's the importance of selecting the right guests and the right guest speakers and listening and being attentive, being meaningful, thoughtful to the community. So in my hand scratched notes, that's what I got.
Thank you, David. And then in room 2, who do we have? I remember, was it Sue? I forgot.
It was Monica.
Monica. Okay, Monica.
Yes.
Go.
Yes, I will go. So, one of us said that one of the best ways to get to know members is doing projects together with them, getting on committees together. Somebody said that to go to board meetings, not necessarily to have to be on the board, but to go visit board meetings, which then allows you to learn more about Rotary and how it's run. Couple of us have new member socials. We have social events. I think you said Jim in your group. Yeah, Jim, we do that. That's right. It's really fun. You know, they get together on a social basis and the new members get to know each other and develop some relationship amongst themselves. One of our persons in our group goes to particularly chooses tables that have new members and sits down and asks them about what kinds of things are they concerned about on the planet. I thought that was a great question. Another group has new members are required to be greeters at their club. And then Sherry says, you've got to go to Cambria. Cambria has the plan for inviting new members and encouraging them. That's it for me.
Thank you.
Right. Those are all great and very engaging ideas. And Monica and David, I don't know if you realize this, but you signed up for homework. So your job now is to take your notes, put them into legible notes, and then forward them to Sherry, because one of the important things about this discussion is we don't want to lose it, right? You're going to get the PowerPoint, but we want the notes from your discussion as well. So put those notes together, shoot it to Sherry, and let's call it Monday, Tuesday at the latest. Does that work?
Yes.
Sooner if you can. But thank you. And again, a lot of really great ideas there. So everybody will get those ideas as we move forward. The big thing with knowing the members, the club, and the community, Rotary has great resources. You had the digital resource class. How many of you went to Marta's digital resource class? Great. So you got some great ideas there. They have some fabulous tools to get to know the members better, tweak them, make them your own. Don't feel like you have to use them as is. They are meant to be torn apart and used to fit your club needs. The club health check is really great. The club concierge we'll talk about in a minute. That's a really great tool. And then there's citydata.com. So it's city-data.com. You plug in the zip code for your club, and it will tell you everything you want to know about commute time, income, how much money people donate on an annual basis. It gives you all the information you want, including, like David, you said you have a target audience that you're looking to attract this coming year. Great. You can use that to help you find that audience. So it's a great tool. Mission. Start to look. This is a discussion for the club and it should be ongoing. We know Rotary's mission. The challenge we get is that clubs, districts, and zones are autonomous to Rotary International. So everybody has their themes. Everybody comes up with their values, their missions, their visions. Try as best as you can to align them to Rotary. So if I'm in Podunk, Iowa, I'm going to walk into a Rotary club and I will know it's Rotary. Even if it's doing something totally different. We want every touch point, people should know they're touching Rotary. Be unique, be creative, be crazy, but align with Rotary. and then know the value. And so I'm going to throw this out to you guys again. And let's see, Brian Reynolds, you have not spoken at all to me today. So, Brian, what's the value of your club? Like, why your club? Why would anybody want to go?
The value of the club for me personally is acquaintance leading to friendship. So getting to know people and becoming friends, but then having shared adventures with those friends that are around service, either to the community or internationally. So it's building friendships, but also opportunity to help solve big problems in small ways.
Absolutely. Great answer. And Brian, you get to pick on the next person. Who would you like to hear from? You have
Oh
a class
gosh,
full of people. Who would you like to hear from?
I don't know. Let's hear from Cambria. They're supposed to be so great.
All right, Cambria. I see Sue Robinson. You're from Cambria.
And what am I supposed to be answering? The same question or?
Why Cambria? Why should anybody join your club? Why Rotary?
Because we're fun. Our motto is if it ain't fun, it ain't Rotary.
Very nice. What do you guys do for fun?
Believe it or not, we do fining. And our fine master and Sherry can verify this is a kick.
It's hilarious, Rick.
We also, you get fined if you're caught outside without wearing a pin.
Oh, very nice.
So we all have to wear our pins all the time.
Very nice.
Even in bathrobe coming out of your house.
As long as we're not going into stalls, it's all good.
And we've started getting into karaoke. We don't have a
Nice.
stick, we do karaoke.
Very nice. All right, you get to pick on the last person. Who would you like to hear from?
I don't have that many on my screen here. How about Anya?
All right, Anya.
Okay, my club is in Pismo Beach. So one of the things that we got going for us is kind of superficial, but we do meet right by the ocean. So we have a good view from where we have lunch. So that's something. But I think that what I think is a selling point is that we have kind of a good mix of people. When I was first looking to join an organization, I kind of was shopped around because I didn't want to get into a group where they were like bullies. You know how sometimes in some organizations there's always like one person that dominates and they're kind of a jerk, and you're saying, God, I'm a volunteer and I'm stuck with this dud of a person, and I didn't want to get stuck like that. So I kind of shopped around and I was looking for a group of people where it was fun to be around them. And so when I found the Pismo Beach Rotary Club, that was what I found. I found a group of people that it was a lot of fun to just get together with them once a week. And I guess for lack of a better term, that's what this club has got going for it. We have a lot of laughs. I mean, it's basically we're laughing for about an hour and a half when we get together for lunch, and then we do a little business too. But we really have a lot of fun, and we don't have that proverbial bully slash jerk one person that ruins the group. We just have a good cohesive group of people. So that's what I enjoy about the club and what I recommend it in terms of a good group to join.
Very, very nice. And that also works in reverse too, right? I know, just quick short story, as a fourth generation Rotarian, I was told I would be in Rotary. So I fought it like you would not believe. It was like, oh no. And then I joined and I was like, why didn't I join sooner? So it can also work in reverse. All right, so we know the local club. We get that because That's the engaging part. That's the hands-on. That's the friendships, the camaraderie. We can do all of that in any organization. So now, why Rotary? What's the value of doing all that we do under the banner of Rotary? And Colleen, I'm going to pick on you because you have a bubble that's saying, hey, Lou, call on me.
Yeah, that's me. Um, you know, I grew up in a family. My father was a Rotarian. He was a Kiwanian. He belonged to the Lions. He belonged, I mean, just to so many service clubs. And so I was a Rotary brat, for a better lack of word. And I just felt that the people in Rotary were engaging, and I, as a younger child, even had a lot of good feelings about it. So when I became a Rotarian, quite a few of those people were still there. So I already kind of had an in, but it was just a fun group. Not that I haven't been a member of the other one, so I really don't know, but I think Rotary is it's very large. And I think it probably has a larger outreach than some clubs because there is so many members. What would be my thoughts on that?
Mama Lou, David's hand is up.
Okay, David. Oh, I love it. Our first hand up. Woo, woo, David.
It's actually been up almost the whole time. So
You
Lou,
gotta-
for me, it's kind of a lot of things wrapped in one, but the value to me and getting to know your members and all the rest is this is one of the only clubs where you get to pick how you want to change the world and impact the world. And so I've tried very, very hard this year to make Rotary relevant to each single person. And I have intentionally tried not to do the same things we've done in the past and explore new opportunities. I did do a survey at the beginning of the year to find out kind of the pulse of the club. And the majority of people wanted to do something different. They felt out of touch with the kind of the same old things we've done for a long time. So that also meant new leadership roles for a lot of people to explore new ideas. And anytime somebody comes up to me and says, I'm thinking about this, that's a new project, go for it. And so I'm really trying to keep people engaged and have it be relevant to them and what they want Rotary to be for them. Because literally it could be almost anything. And that's what's important to me. And that's kind of what we've tried to highlight, especially for the new members. What would you like to do?
Yeah, that's amazing, David. And that is exactly what Rotary wants. They want us to understand that Rotary is not a one size fits all at all approach. It's
Mama
the
Lou,
only service club on the planet that you can, talk to anybody anywhere in the world. And Walt, I see
Yeah.
your hand up, and then we'll hear from Walt, and then we'll keep going, and we're going to have to speed date through resources. So Walt, you're up.
Well, you touched on, we're actually resource managers, but the other thing that we overlook most of the time is Rotary builds leaders. And we do that through our education programs like Pearls and those kind of programs. We actually help you enhance your ability to run your business and run meetings and all that stuff that you may not be getting. It's a great opportunity. And I actually sell that a lot of times when I promote Rotary, what the personal enrichment you get out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it helps families.
Hmm.
My son just moved to Tennessee ahead of me, and we reached out to the local Rotary Club, talked with the president, and they met him. They helped him pick the right place to find an apartment, and they're connecting him to resources there. That it was just a phone call.
Yeah.
No other club does that. Rotary does that.
When
That's
you
truly the value.
when you bring in a new member, get their wife or their spouse's email. Send both of them the invite to the meetings because you'd be surprised how many times they don't tell the other half.
Absolutely. Great idea. So this slide, we're not going to go through every point on every slide. Like I said, it's a ton of information. It's like a full 1-day class, but you will get the tools from this slide in your packet. And then you'll also get a new member scavenger hunt. So it allows them to get to know the club, get to know the members, and get to know Rotary. It was developed by Rotary years ago, and it's been modified slightly over the years. But when you get it, modify it to fit your club needs. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so now we've had all these great conversations, and hopefully they're ongoing conversations. We know our members, we know what they bring to the table, right? Their talents, their capabilities, their experience that we can possibly utilize to make the world a better place. Now, what do we do with all that? So we have to know what our goal is. What is it we're trying to do? It's not just grow Rotary, it has to be more specific. I want to grow Rotary in this target market. We want our service projects to be A, B, and C. So then when we sit back and we know that, that's what that discussion is designed to do. So once we know that, then we're able to say, okay, what resources do I need? Rotary's job is to give you a myriad of resources. The zone job, the district's job. But you have to pick the right tool, right? If I'm a horrible cook, if somebody just gave me a bunch of ingredients, I'd be like, oh my gosh, what am I going to cook? My poor husband, he'll starve because I don't know how to put it all together. I need to have a goal. I'm making chicken cacciatore. Okay, I need this tool, this tool, this tool. He'll get a great dinner. If I'm left to my own devices, it's going to be, who knows what will come out of that kitchen. Rotary is the same thing. If we know our goals, we know our people, we know what we're capable of, we pull the resources from district, zone, and Rotary to fill the gaps. All right. So let's talk about, now we've got the resources, okay? We got to build a mindset of entrenchment. So how do we do that? It is utilizing the 5 senses, right? What we see, what we smell, what we hear, what we touch, everything. So you might think, okay, how does that even go into play? So I'm going to give you a case study. So that our small club had trouble growing because there's so many clubs around us. And we had a very different mindset. We decided to be a net one for Rotary, not just for the club. And then Sue, I'm gonna mute you real quick. Okay. All right. So we decided we were going to create targeted, valuable content for families in the community. So how do we do that? Well, what do families want to know about? Health and wellness, how to recycle, how to cut their utility bills down, how to help with their mortgage payments. So when you look at your community, the point is look at it from the standpoint of what does the community really want? And how does Rotary fit that need? We know we have to help those that are in dire need, right? The impoverished. We know we're going to help the youth. We know we'll help with scholarships and the other traditional type projects. But how are we touching the families? Families are a key element for membership. We have to build that relationship. So when you look at your clubs, and I'm going to call on, let's see, Anya, S. Baker. What does S stand for?
Stands for Steve.
Steve. All right, Steve. When you look at your club, how does your club meet prospective members where they are? The families in the community, the professionals in the community. What are you doing? You know your members, but how do you get to know those people you don't know yet?
It's a good question, because that's part of what we're in the, why I'm in this particular breakout right now is our membership has been dwindling for quite some time. We're down to about 12 current. We've had quite a few illnesses and a few deaths that have kind of decimated our club. So right now, we're trying to figure out a way to appeal to the community, appeal to different individuals, and it's kind of a far-reaching. We're also the small club that broke away from the big club that's in town as well. So one of the things that we've done to help attract new members would be that we're a hybrid club now. Twice a month we meet in the evenings, and twice a month we meet at our traditional place. And that the goal was we have people that just can't get up in the morning and get to a meeting. But they said, well, if you had one in the evening. So we've got some potential new members that are coming to our evening times now. And they're starting to get a feel for what we are and we're asking them what are they looking for. So you just got to kind of roll with it. I mean, you got to be able to evolve as you go through, the day to day and all the different conditions and everything. So pretty much it. I mean, back when COVID hit, I was the one who said, let's do Zoom, because I knew if we didn't keep meeting, we'd lose all momentum and the club would dissolve. So here we are. We're still here.
Yeah. No, and sometimes the club will do that. Clubs will ebb and flow. The key is we stop at some point, we get comfortable because we're so busy with our projects. And we found that even across the zone 26, you get so comfortable in your projects, you forget that you still have to build and court the members, right? And you want to keep bringing people in. Think about projects where you can include families. Maybe the project isn't a specific helping a child. Maybe it's putting on a Saturday workshop for families. Maybe it's bringing in some tutors. What do young parents want? They want to help with their kids' homework. They're busy. They get home at the end of the day and they don't want to do homework. Get them in touch with resources. So our club reached out and we had a back to school festival, and it was built around resources for families. We were hoping for 100 people to show up. We posted it in the newspaper, on social media. We had 1,800 families show up. So we were scrambling because we were like, oh my gosh. On one hand, that's great, right? On another hand, that's disastrous. But what we realized is there's a lot of families in this community that want access to resources. So it gave us the ability to bring them, let them touch Rotary. And from there, we've been able to help 25 people so far. We have a list of 180 that want a callback. 25 we have introduced to other clubs so that they can grow their membership because it's a better fit for that person. So sometimes that net one is more important than just me, myself, and I, right? So look at your communities, touch the families, simplify the path to membership. Look at advisory members. We want to get the mayor. We want to get the city manager. Great. Don't invite them to join Rotary. Ask them to become an advisory member to the club. And their sole purpose in life is to keep the club appraised of the status of the city. So you simplify the path for them. They make the decision to join. You're not pushing them to join. They're just an advisory member. There's no obligation other than the cost of lunch. But eventually they'll want to join, right? Member discount cards. How many of you have been around children who have those booster clubs for you get a discount at Taco Bell, Burger King, McDonald's? Do the same thing. Create a member discount card. The airlines will give you discount tickets on the airlines. Major restaurants will give you discounts. Make it a perk. Social media. We're very good at telling ourselves about the club. Newsletters go out to our members. Create a newsletter that goes out to the public with issues that are important to them. Use the school district to distribute it to families. And it's published by the Rotary Club. And when you post in social media, have a group for the club members. But then every member should be going out and publishing on their social media pages. So now instead of reaching a few hundred, you're reaching a few thousand. All right, we can go through this all day long, but I know I'm running out of time. So let me just go through the last. This is just kind of the summary slide. This is pictures from around your district. If you do nothing else, when you get the PowerPoint, print this slide, keep it next to you, and think about how you're going to engage members' five senses. Smell is one of them, believe it or not. People don't like going to meetings where there's a ton of different smells. What we found is if you put peppermint on the tables, people will come back just for the peppermint. In our club, we have 3 people who joined our club because it smells good. Like, that's a horrible reason to join. But we joke about it. Like, why'd you join Rotary? It smells good. Oh my gosh, right? People will join for the craziest reasons, but we're glad you're at the table. Let's dig you in. So again, remember the Dulcie effect, and I'm sorry to speed date through this. Last thing, additional resources. When you get this one, click on the Rotary International, our club concierge. This is very, very, very important. It is a survey that you fill out. Has analytics that wrote on the back end that will create a template for you of the resources specific to your club. So instead of trying to go into Rotary and figuring out which resource do I need, you do this survey and just be as honest as possible about your club. And it will give you a list and links to resources that are specific to address just those issues. You can do this over and over again. You can use it for public image. You can use it for membership. You can use it for meetings. It will give you the resources. And then I am also going to forward you a one-page sheet from Rotary International with live links to every resource with a description of what the resource does. So it'll be kind of your cheat sheet. So when you go on to rotary.org, you're not going, oh, where do I go from here? It will give you the direct link, and hopefully that will help you guys also. And I am sorry that we only had 50 minutes. You guys have been amazing. You are an incredible group. I am always available to you. Write down my cell phone number. Text me if you need to. I will answer you up until about 2 a.m. From 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., I am sleeping. But I am available to you for anything, any questions, any ideas, and share everything. If you have homework, get it to Sherry. And thank you guys for your time.
Thank you so much, Mama Lu. Let's give a round of applause to Mama Lu, and thank you, everyone. We have 5 minutes before the next session, so thank you all. Have a great Saturday if I don't see you guys. And thanks again, Mama Lu. We appreciate she came out of a conference. She forego some sessions to be with us. Thank you, Mama Lu.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Enjoy. You're all amazing.
Okay. Bye, everyone. See you,
Bye.
Club Presidents, in 5 minutes.